Hey, Lighthouse. My name is Krista, and I'm one of the leaders here. And we have Micah joining us this afternoon
Hi.
from El Salvador. And she is also someone that is spending time in Central America right now. And so we just wanted to touch base with her and get an update and see what was going on. So thanks, Micah, so much for taking some time to be able to join us and let us know things that are going on with you, how things are affecting you with your outreach and different things like that. So just in case people don't remember you or they have started attending our church since you have left, do you just want to give us a little bit of background about how you started coming to Lighthouse?
Yeah, totally. So I started coming to Lighthouse because I had a brother-in-law that was working with a church plant. Little did I know that that was Lighthouse. And I have been going to Vineyard in Mishawaka basically like since I can remember. And I was just looking for a smaller community where I could connect more. And I found out through Joe that they were doing Sunday nights. And that worked perfect because I worked Sunday mornings. And so Grace, my best friend who met her, she also told me that she had went and checked it out and that it was really, really cool. So I decided to go and I ended up loving it and made that my spot.
Good. Yeah, that was great. And yeah, so Mika was there as well, pretty much from the start when we started at the mall and then made the move over to our new building now. And we're there for it seemed like a short time. It seems like we've been there now longer without you than what we were there with you. But and what teams did you serve on, Mika?
I was part of the usher team, and then so I just helped like greet people coming in and just giving them pamphlets and just making them feel welcome.
Yeah.
And I really like that spot because like Grace, like Lyndon was one of the first people I remember like meeting and
Yeah.
at the mall. And so like I think ushering is very important.
Yeah, good. Okay, so can you just give us a little bit of background about maybe how you through Lighthouse and then how you ended up where you are now in El Salvador?
Yeah. So when we first started going, me and Grace, we had talked openly about like missions and trips and different things going on. And we found out like within the second Sunday of going that you guys were planning your first mission trip, and it was to Costa Rica. And I came from a Latino family with my dad being Puerto Rican. So I've always desired to go to a Latin culture. And then also I had always felt the Lord telling me to do something missions related, especially because my mom has always been saying that if you're ever like feeling like low on yourself, like you need to look around and see what others like how they smile and they have way less than you have and to be grateful. So that was my like first couple weeks of going to Lighthouse. I heard of the announcement and I felt like that was the Lord like calling me into that direction since he's been speaking to me about doing missions since I was younger. I'd always had like a desire to do that. So I just ended up going. We went to Esperanza, a ministry in Costa Rica in the mountains. And during that time there, I just felt the Lord changing, like lighting a fire in my heart and bringing this self-realization of dying to myself and to live for him more fully. And have experienced the world in the way that like living for myself, working for myself, acquiring things for myself. And I just still felt so empty and it was so hard still. So I thought like during that trip, I was like, if like life is hard, why would I not make it hard serving the Lord? So just that trip totally did something in my heart. So cliche, but every trip I think that you take for the Lord through life, like he will work through that and do a change.
Great. So yeah, it was really great to be on that trip with Mika and Grace as well, and just see how that impacted them. And definitely, like from the get-go, I think Clint would have gone on a mission trip like the first month we started, just because that's definitely just going to be part of our DNA at
Yeah.
Lighthouse. So it was just great to see now. We've taken our second one, and so it's just great to see how all of that fruit comes, and just seeing you guys continue to choose to serve other places, there's great opportunity to serve in our own communities. But there's also great opportunity and kind of a wealth of knowledge or perspective that you can get serving in somebody else's culture. So I'm really proud of you guys for doing that. So you're with Vita 220 started in Costa Rica with your school, that's right. And so we heard a little bit about that through Grace and what the program is and what it entails. So she listed off kind of where all of the teams are. You want to go through like where each of the teams are, just in case somebody hasn't seen the one with Grace, and then where your team is and what you are doing for outreach.
Yeah. So we had 2 teams in Honduras, but they combined at the Honduras base. We have 1 team in Guatemala. We have 1 team in Belize. We have 1 team in Costa Rica, and then I'm in the team in El Salvador.
And how many people are on your team?
So every team starts out with 5 students and 1 leader. So there's 6 in total. All the leaders that are in charge of the teams have done Vita 220 the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
And yes. And right now there's been like some, like the decision is open for people to go because this is just out of the world circumstances, like something we've never seen before going on. So, or we have seen before, but so we've had some students like make the personal choice to go home, and that's totally up to them. So yeah. There's like 7 students missing. Like we started out with 29.
Okay.
And I think like so far 7 have went home.
Okay. And what was your team doing in outreach before the shelter-in-place order happened in El Salvador?
Okay, so before we would have church almost 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. And that our church is very small. His fish that he catches is from like almost like the rejected rugrats of the town. They don't come with parents. We go around and would walk and pick them up, and it takes like an hour walk to get them every church service. So that was like a cultural thing we had to adjust with. And you go in Latin culture, like you're never ready. So that was something that was interesting. And so we would have like one day was like a Bible study day. Another day was like a women's or I guess a little girls like Bible study together. Another was just like a normal preaching Sunday. And then another one was as well like a normal Sunday.
Okay.
So we would have kids club every Saturday, and we also did Alpha, ventured in that for a while. We did crafts with the kids when they would come. We started like helping them fix their like school books. So like we had all the supplies, and they would come and we would help them like cover them so they would last longer.
Okay.
And then a lot of things we did was like we walked around a little bit and would pray doing evangelism, but a lot of the time was taken up with like the little school of fish that would come like every Sunday, which is cool.
Yeah, good. And then since the shelter in place has happened, you are just at the pastor's house, right? That's where you're staying right now.
Yeah.
So are you still being able to interact with his family, or are you just your team unit?
So we live with the pastor, and the church is right like connected to us, so that's kind of nice. We have like a little bit bigger area to be in. The pastor, he comes and goes. He still like works, and his family like close by, his mother-in-law, they'll go and like visit and stay with them. So that's actually where they're at right now.
Okay.
And really like we still interact with them, but I would say like right now our ministry is, there's a guy we met in February, and his name's Ariel, and he's kind of like a drunk of the town. And he comes by and he'll actually join us for some of our activities that we've done. And that's really been like our sole, like with people ministry, because we're on passport. So we take the restrictions of this government very seriously. So really we don't leave unless like we go to the Pulperia, which is like a little store around the corner. But other than that, we don't go very far because there's a lot of times like the police are controlling to make sure we stay to those guidelines.
Right. Yeah, so it just looks completely different than, I mean, we always said that on the mission field, the keyword or something to always keep in mind is the word flexibility. And if this
Yeah.
is not the, sole definition of flexibility, and you guys adapting to what's going on, and I know that you guys are doing some personal things as well and spending time in prayer with each other and learning new skills. I know you've mentioned that you were starting to do haircuts and learning guitar and different things like that. So taking time to get some new skills, I think that's great too.
Yeah, I
So,
really like
yeah, go ahead.
I really like that I found out that your guys' word this year is deeper, because
Yes.
that I feel like sums up what we're doing here, especially in this time. I really feel like the Lord has just been taking like all of us in deeper relationships. We have been like deeper in the Bible, deeper in our quiet time, into our spiritual disciplines, just being in community with each other. Also, there's that pressure of constant relationship.
Yeah, sure.
Always together. So
Yeah.
I love that I found out that that's your word, because I feel like that really sums up like a lot of what we're doing here during our time. Like we do Bible readings every day, and what we're doing is we started at the book of Acts and no Luke, and we've read right now. Our next one is going to be Second Thessalonians, or we just finished that. So we're just continuing like reading through the Bible. We read chapter by chapter, and as we do that, we've been pairing it with the Bible Project videos, which is like a nonprofit organization that gives fun illustrations and very biblical, helping decipher things in the Bible. So as we read a book, we watch the video, and we continue doing that. And so that's something. We still have like our regular quiet times in the morning. We have devotionals. Everyone will do a devotional during the week. We have exercising. Not all of us, but me and Kara, which is the girl on my team, we've all been like very dedicated, because all we do is sit. So exercising is really nice. So we've been doing that in the church. We also have intercession every day. We're interceding at like normally 11 o'clock to just fervently pray, earnestly pray for others. So I really enjoy that. That's a spiritual discipline that we're all working on. And I really enjoy fasting. We fast once a week every Wednesday. You're welcome to join us if anyone wants to fast on Wednesdays. We do that. And there's a voluntary fast on Sundays as well. We still do worship at least once or twice a week. And I've been practicing playing the guitar, which that's cool, because I never thought I'd be able to play worship songs that I've always like enjoyed and felt like closer to God hearing them, but playing them is on like a whole new level.
Yeah.
So, and we've been reading a lot, like not just the Bible, but we have books that like our leader has a Kindle, so we've got to like buy some books and just discuss certain things. So far, like I've read Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus, Imagine Heaven, there's Power Evangelism. Right now, I just started Radical, which is a book by David Platt. It's
David
amazing.
Platt, that's excellent. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Celebration of Discipline, so which I feel like fits perfectly for going deeper.
Right. For sure. So what do you think is something that God has been teaching you over the last couple months?
I would say the main thing is just like enjoying the process with him, like this process of going deeper and like knowing him more fully, and just realizing like every day, wow, I just need to know him more. Like I don't even, yesterday I didn't know enough about him, and today I still don't know enough. And so I just feel like he's teaching me a lot about the process, and like through that process that I'm on is like remaining in him and abiding in him and his salvation, and with my faith, and through his spirit giving me peace. Because I think a lot of like some of the hardest trials is waiting, that process of his timing. And I think a lot of the time I want to push my own, like, am I willing to wait on God's timing and not my own? So that's a question that I've been like mulling over a lot. Another thing is that we recently watched American Gospel, which which is like a documentary that's really amazing. And it just kind of shows you like the gospel that's being preached and the real gospel, like the discernment, what it is and what it isn't. And we have so much time, I suggest you watch it. But it told me a lot about like accepting Jesus as my salvation and not trying to like save myself or like being enough, which I think I found out I'm a very task oriented person and I struggle at like resting. So for me, like I think like in my mind I'm like I have to do more, I have to do more, I have to like continue like to grow maybe for him to love me. And like that's just been something he's been like, that's a lie. Like I love you as you are, but I know that there's more for you, and that through you just like surrendering to me, that's my personal word this year, is just surrender. I've just been working on like submitting to him and not trying to save myself, like because I cannot be my own savior, and that I need to surrender everything, my own desires and in my own time, and he's going to love me through the process that we're on together.
Yeah.
So that's been really really tough, but like enjoying at the same time.
Yeah. That's great, Micah. And I thank you so much for taking time I know this isn't like your normal time that you do this, and so you adjusted your schedule so that you were able to meet with us. And so we look forward to hearing when you might be coming home or how you will finish out your program as well, and just continue to keep us posted on how all of that turns out. And we are praying for you, and just love how God is working in your heart. So this has been great to catch up with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate the time and just being able to debrief you guys and let like new people know, because I know I'm an unnormal face for some of you guys, and I just really appreciate like the prayer and the support, and I'm just excited waiting in the process and seeing like his timing, because we don't know what's gonna happen. Like we're just kind of waiting it out to see like what's the next step, like what does the rest of outreach look like. We don't know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because in the uncertainty, we're certain of his control and his will being done. So
Yeah. Very good. Well, thanks so much, Micah, and we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully in a couple months.
all right.
All
See you guys.
right. See ya.